Okay, guys, our objective is to continue practicing exponent problems. We're going to practice some of the harder ones today. So what I want to do, let's go over these two problems, go over homework, and then we're going to do a harder problem together. Then I'll have you try one on your own. You'll see what I mean when you see them. Okay, so number one on the warm-up. Sage, what's the first step? Okay, good. So that could definitely be the first step. Dirk, what else can we do as part of the first step? Yes, that's what Sage said, but what about this? What's y to the 0, Dirk? Good. So change that to a 1. Distribute -2, so we have 8 to the -2nd, x to the -12th, y to the 6th. Zach, what's the next step? Okay, you can, but it's not really going to change anything. Do you know what I mean? Because 1 times anything is still going to be itself. Good. Move the negative exponents to the bottom. So, Will, what should the answer be? Good job. That's the answer. Any questions on number 1? So multiply same base, add exponents, divide same base, subtract. Anything to the 0 power is 1. If you have a negative exponent, flip it. If you have a power of a power, just like we had on that one, distribute it through. Okay, Amy, what's the first step on number 2? Good. Distribute the 3 to the 5 and to the r. So we have 5 to the 3rd, r to the 15th, and then rewrite times r to the -2nd. Jake, what should we do next? Good. So circle, move what's negative. So we have 5 to the 3rd, r to the 15th, over r to the 2nd. Jackie, last step. Awesome. So after you move the negative, you're dividing same base. You can subtract exponents, so we get r to the 13th. Any questions on any of the properties on how to do either of those? Amy? Yes. Anytime you're subtracting, it stays on top. When you subtract and it's negative and it's on top, move it to the bottom. So yes, always put it on top, but you only will move it if it's a negative. Good question. Anyone else? You guys will see these next year. All right, let's go over homework quickly, and then we're going to do some harder problems together. Like I mentioned before, if you can do the more difficult problems, the simple problems will seem much easier. Okay, Sam, what did you get for number 2? Good. Matthew, number 4. Good. Sage, number 6. Okay, this one should actually be, and I should have went over this with you guys yesterday, it should be 8 to the 5th, 4 to the 5th. You need to keep it separate. Since the bases are different, you need to distribute that exponent first, get rid of the parentheses. Maggie? Oh, sorry, I thought you had a question. Maggie, number 8. Thank you. Dirk, number 10. Good, -2 to the 3rd, x to the 3rd. Matt, number 12. You sure? Okay, Amy, number 12. You guessed on, okay, Sam, you want to try number 12? Yep. Good, s to the 24th. Haley Waters, number 14. Alan, if you don't mind, just sit behind Sam. You can put that right there. Thank you. Haley, I'm sorry, 4 to the, good. Alan, we're just going over homework. Garrett, number 16. Okay, Amanda? Good, 10 to the 5th. Garrett, you want to try 18? Okay, how about 20? Okay, Reno, number 18. Good. 20, Melissa? Three to the what? Okay, should be 3 squared. I think you forgot to distribute the exponent to the 3, and then y to the 8th. but the x should not be to the 11th. It should be to the 18th. Just remember, when you're multiplying power of a power, when you have a power of a power, you need to multiply. You added them by accident. You guys okay on 20? Okay, Will, 22. Good job. 24, Jackie. Okay. Okay. Haley L, did you get 24? No? Zach, 24? Jake, 24? Heather? Will? Good job. 2 to the third times 6 times b. Okay. Number 26, John, you didn't get to 26, did you? Helene, did you get 26 done? Good. Just keep the 5 negative. Thank you. Okay, so, sorry. 26 should be 1 over negative 5 to the third. Remember, only move it if the exponent's negative. Don't worry about the coefficient. 28, Matthew, back to you. Yep, 1 over 4 squared. Maggie, 30. Good. Matt, how about 32? Good. 8 to the second. 34, Amy? No? Dirk, 34? Good. Sage, 36? Okay. E to the, you're too worried about semi, aren't you? E to the 6, I'm just kidding. Okay, it should be e to the 6th over 2 to the 3rd, d to the 15th. 38. Haley Waters, do you have 38? Very close. Sam, do you have something different for 38? Yeah. Haley, the only little thing there was that 6 was to the first power, so leave that where it is. Alan, do you have 40? No? Will? Good job. All right, there's all the answers. So before we move on to the next thing, you guys need to make sure you're okay with these. I know some of you didn't do your homework, but are there any problems up here that you don't know how to get to the answer, that you're confused with? Jake, what number? The last one? Okay. Is it okay if I move this? Okay, so number 40. We have 2e to the negative 4th, g to the 5th, all over e to the 5th, g to the negative 3rd. Okay, so here's the problem. Did I write that wrong? Oh, wait, hold on. Jake, I wrote one thing wrong on that. The negative 4 should be outside the parentheses, sorry. Okay, so now the first thing you need to do on this is get rid of parentheses. So we need to distribute that negative 4 first. So we have 2 to the negative 4th, e to the negative 4th, rewrite the g, all over e to the 5th, g to the negative 3rd. So get rid of parentheses. Now get rid of the negatives. If I go too fast, let me know. These two move to the bottom, and this one moves to the top. Okay, so we have g to the positive 3rd, g to the 5th, all over 2 to the 4th, e to the 4th, e to the 5th. And then let's just combine like terms. So g to the 8th is what's on top. Bottom is 2 to the 4th, e to the 9th. All right? So if you just get rid of those middle inside parentheses first, move negatives, and then simplify, you'll be fine. Anyone else, any of these problems that you either need to see or need me to go over? Heather? Okay. 24 is definitely a hard one. Okay, 24, we have 6a to the 4th, b to the 5th over ab times 2ab, a squared, b squared, all to the 3rd. So very, very first thing, Heather, and anyone else for this, distribute the 3 through. Maggie looks nice. So rewrite the first part. And the second part becomes 2 to the 3rd, a to the 3rd, b to the 3rd. And the bottom becomes a to the 6th, b to the 6th. You with me so far? Okay. At this point, I know some of you guys yesterday were wondering what to do. If you're multiplying two things, mush them together. Everything goes together in the numerator. Everything goes together in the denominator. So I'm just going to do this. So if we do that, let's add what's on top first. Multiply same base, add exponents. And same thing with the bottom. So 6 times 2 to the 3rd, a to the 7th, b to the 8th. You see how I got that? The bottom is a to the 7th, b to the 7th. And then the last step is, Heather, divide same base, subtract exponents. So what happens, Heather, to a to the 7th over a to the 7th? Yeah, they're going to cancel, disappear. They have the same exponent. So 6 times 2 to the 3rd, b to the 8th over b to the 7th is just b. You okay? So that's all. Letty, you okay? Okay. Questions? All right, so take out a blank piece of paper or your notebook. It's time to do some crazy exponent problems. So a piece of paper or notebook. Letty, just do the best you can for now, or you don't know how to do it. If you want to go to the library and watch the elimination video. Which one? This one you need to multiply one of them by -1. You can't eliminate until... Did you watch that video? You just didn't understand? Multiply the top one by -1 and then add them. You can't add until you have either the x or the y with the same number, opposite signs. Okay? All right, guys, ready? Okay, number 1. Write this down. You might want to write it pretty big. We're going to do it together. So these are like the crazy exponent problems. Okay, write it down. We're going to do it together, then you're going to do one on your own. You'll be fine. If you can do this, the smaller ones are going to seem much easier. Jake, we know you're stressed about your dress, but Sage, I'm just kidding. All right, ready? Did you guys write it down? No, I'll wait. Yeah, it is a big problem. I know, you're right. Leave yourself some room and write neatly so you know what is what. It is ridiculous. Last year I gave them a test on problems like this. We're not doing math this year. Because it really helps you, I promise. To learn exponents better. It does, Will, promise. Okay, number 1. What do you guys think we should do first? Okay, yes. So here's what we're going to do first. We have a power of a power. To save yourself a little bit of time on this, very first thing I want you to do is multiply these together and multiply these together, and then we're going to distribute. So in other words, there's 2 exponents, multiply them together, and then distribute. So I'm going to do this with you. So we need to rewrite everything. So we have -2, x to the 3rd, y to the 2nd. All of that is in little parentheses, raised to the -6th. On the bottom, it's still in little parentheses, and it's raised to the +4th. Oops. So make sure you're writing that carefully. The little ones or the big ones? You don't need the big ones. You don't need them. The little ones you need. The big ones, they're just there because I kept them there. So first thing, multiply the exponents together. Now we're going to distribute. So now we're back to what we've always been doing. Distribute this -6 to every term. Distribute the +4 to every term, even if it only has an exponent of a 1. So we now have -2 to the 6th, x to the 18th, y to the -12. If you're going ahead of me, just make sure that you're checking your steps. Oh man, thank you. Sorry guys, I couldn't. Thanks, Maggie. Better than waiting until the very end, right? Sorry, my fault. That was a -6. I didn't see it. Sorry. Make sure you have in the numerator -2 to the -6, x to the -18th, and y to the +12th. Well, yeah, you should, so that you know that that negative goes with the 2, but would I mark it wrong if you didn't? No. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. All right, on the bottom, Sage, what do we have after we distribute? So 3 to the what? Yeah, tell me what's on the bottom. Yep. 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 Good. Okay. Okay, after that, what can we do next? Jackie? Yes. Now we need to move negative. So parentheses are gone. We now need to get rid of negative. So I want you to circle the 2 terms that are negative in the numerator. We're going to move them to the bottom. Circle the negative that's on the bottom. We're going to move it to the top. Jake. Well, I made up the problem, but whoever discovered all this stuff years and years and years ago, they did. I don't know who came up with this. I'll have to look it up. Some mathematician. Good question, Will. All right. Sam, you say what are numbers? All right, so next step is going to be y to the 12th, y to the 24th, all over -2 to the +6, x to the 18th, 3 to the 4th, x to the 20th, z to the 4th. All right, now what? Jackie, now what? Good, we can now combine. In the numerator, when you multiply same base, we need to add exponents. Denominator, same thing. There's 2 x's here. So what is our answer? I should have more than one hand up. This is the easy part. Sam, what'd you get? Good job. That's the answer. So yes, a pain, but really not that bad. Do you need to write all those steps? Not really, Heather. Because in the very, very beginning, that 2 is negative, and you're not multiplying anything by that to make it positive, because that -6, that -2 at the beginning, the exponent is a negative. So the 2 stays negative. That makes sense? Anyone else? All right. I want you guys to try. Hold on. I don't want to give you anything too hard. Okay, this one. Put a number 2 on your paper, please. Okay, and here's the one I want you guys to try. Little parentheses, x, -x squared, 6y to the -3rd, all to the -4th. On the bottom, 6x squared, -2, sorry, 6x to the -2. x to the 6th, z to the negative 5th, all of that to the negative 3rd, big parentheses, all to the negative 3rd. Yeah, just for today, Maggie. Sorry. You're not going to have homework, I promise. But you need to do well on this. Yes, this is a negative 5. Yes. Oh, wait, hold on. This one, Travis, that's 1x. That's an x and that's an x. Is that what you mean? Okay, I thought you meant is that 2 x's. Okay, good. All right, so I want you to try this one on your own. Just like we did number 1, distribute, multiply the power of a power first. Okay, then distribute that, then move negatives. Did you get an answer, Will? Okay, give me 1 second. Let me know if you guys think you have an answer. No, nope. It's an exponent, so keep it an exponent. Good question. Doing a little bit better, Liddy? Okay. If you guys think you have an answer, let me know. I'm going to start writing the steps up there. Yes. Same base, add exponents. Okay, you still need to simplify the x's and the 6's. No, because the front of it's negative. It's still the same base. It's just going to be negative x to the... Yeah. If one's negative, they're the same. X is the exact same. You don't care about the negative being in front. That has nothing to do with it. It's just telling you that that coefficient is negative. That was the same rule yesterday. You need to simplify the x's. But they're still both the base is x. They're the exact same. So you got to keep simplifying. Like you combine these two, like you combine those. Still need to combine those. Same thing. Hold on 1 second, Will. Is that a 22? Okay, that's the only exponent that's wrong. Everything else is right. Somewhere along the lines you must have subtracted or added your x exponent wrong.
I added.
X to the 12, 11, 30. Awesome. Good job. Good job. Okay, we have one completely correct answer. Okay, no. So here's, even though this is a negative, they still have the same base. So you're combining them. It's just going to end up being a negative x to the something power. So add those exponents and then subtract those. You know what I mean by that? Everything's right except for this. The exponent on the x needs fixed. Everything else is right. Hold on. 24 and 18. Where did your x to the 24th should be on top? The negative in front does not mean move it. The negative in front means keep it there. That's why. Good job. Awesome. Sam, I'm coming. Matt, I'm coming. Amy, I'm coming over. Thanks. Why do you have a 1 to the 12th? Where'd that come from? Oh, where'd the x go, though? Like, should just be x to the 12th. Yes. Yes. Yeah. That's why I was confused. Yeah. Just negative x to the 24th. Keep it like that. 6 to the 12th line. Where did you get y to the negative third? You forgot to distribute something to that. It should be y to the negative 36th. Yeah, but this 12 needs to be distributed to every term inside parentheses. You forgot about the y. Okay. Z to the 45th should be on top. Everything else is right. Somewhere along the lines you lost a negative. Everything else was right though. Shh. Hey guys, girls. Shh. Awesome. Awesome. Good job. You guys are better than you think at these. Everything's right except for this number right here. So, no, I want you to look back. Somewhere along the lines you either multiplied or added wrong with the x's. Everything's right except for the x. Okay, we're going to go over this in a minute because there's some silly mistakes going on here. You still need to simplify the x's. Look at all these x's. Add those, subtract those. Doesn't matter if there's a negative or not. You need to simplify the x's and simplify the 6's. Yeah, it's still x. All right, guys, so let's go over this. Listen. Okay, listen. Okay, the biggest thing I saw, you guys are telling me that negative x and x are different. They're not. Negative x and x are still the same base. The only difference is there will be an x in front, a negative in front of the x at the very end. Nothing different of that, okay? Katron, can you tell us the very first step? Good. So multiply these, multiply these. I'm going to go through the steps quickly, but I want you guys to tell me what they are. Sage, pay attention. Okay, if you made a mistake, please check your steps with mine. If this goes okay, we won't do any more of these. So the first step should be negative x squared, 6y to the negative third. All of that raised to the positive 12th power. If you see me write something wrong, let me know. The bottom is going to be 6x to the negative second, x to the 6th, z to the negative 5th, all to the positive 9th. So that was first step. Dirk, what's the next step? Good. We now need to distribute that exponent to every single thing inside parentheses. The negative in front of the x just stays in front of the x. Okay? So we have here negative x to the 24th, 6 to the 12th, y to the negative 36. So check your second step. The bottom, 6 to the 9th, x to the negative 18th, x to the 54th, and z to the negative 45th. Maggie, did I do something wrong? Did I write something wrong? Oh, okay. Sometimes I write things wrong. Guys, if you see anything wrong that I wrote wrong, let me know. Okay, now what? Sage, now what? Okay, you can, but do you move negatives first or do you combine? You can. It doesn't matter. Okay, at this point, guys, we usually move the negatives next, but some of you I know like to combine. It doesn't matter what you choose. I'm going to move the negatives next. That's what we normally do. So move the negatives. These two go to the top. This one goes to the bottom. Why are we not moving this? Why is negative x to the 24th staying there, Jackie? Good. The negative's in front of the x. It's not on the exponent. So leave that where it is. So our next step, let me move this up a little, is negative x to the 24th, 6 to the 12th, x to the 18th, z to the positive 45th, all over 6 to the 9th, y to the positive 36th, x to the 54th. I think I have everything. Let me make sure. Yep. Okay, now what? Amanda, what can we do next? Say that again. Good. We can combine the exponents next, combine like terms. So we have these two to combine, and we actually can combine this one as well. So we're going to add and then subtract the exponents on the x's, and then the 6's, you're dividing same base, so subtract those. You don't have to do that all in one step, but I'm going to. You could just add first and then subtract. So Jake, what did you get for your final answer? Oh, I thought you did. Okay, final answer. Will, what'd you get? Good job. So 6 to the 3rd, z to the 45th, negative x to the 12th, and y to the 36th. Any questions on that one? Okay, I want you just to write down one more, but we're just going to do the first part of it. All right, so we're not going to do this whole thing. I just need to show you how to do this. Not that. Not that. Okay, this. All right, don't write it down. Let's talk about it then. All right, don't write it down. Let's just talk about it. How about that? Less complaining. Okay, what do you think you would do first on a problem like this? Heather? Okay. Okay, so good job. Here's what you need to do first on a problem like this. So I want you to watch in case you ever see something like this on a smaller scale. So you would do that first. So let me just write that down, and then I want you to tell me the next step, and then we're done. So this is going to be 3y to the negative 5th, z to the 4th, all to the negative 6th power, all over 9y to the negative 2nd, z to the 8th, all to the positive 6th power. Second set of parentheses is 2z to the 2nd y, and all of that needs to stay squared. Don't forget that, because this 2 goes to everything. So that needs to stay squared. The bottom, 4x to the 3rd, y to the negative 3rd, all to the 4th power. What would you do next? And we're just going to stop here, but what would you do next, Will? Good. So distribute negative 6 to all this, 6 to all this, 2 to all this, 4 to all this. What a pain, right? Then what? It's separate, but what would you do? What would you do next? Yeah, move the negatives, and to keep this easier, I would mush all this together. We did a problem like that for the warm-up, which means put your line straight across. You're really just multiplying across the top, across the bottom, so all of that stays together. Okay, that's all I wanted to do. Are they really that bad? Just a pain to write? Okay. Any questions? Okay, there's no homework. Tomorrow, we are going to go back to simplifying radicals. You guys remember those from the gold packet, kind of? Those are harder than these. So we're going to spend a couple more days on those. You guys will have a small quiz next week. Okay, have a good day.